All right, we are looking at the topic units of measurement. It made it to objective 5, which is the last objective, but I have this separated into part A and part B simply because there are two different methods, or yes, two different methods to arrive at the answer. We want to convert from metric to imperial and vice versa. That's what this lesson is all about. The beauty about the topic like this is they will always give you the conversion rate. You do not have to memorize it. Let's look at the metric system worldwide compared to imperial. As you can see, the blue represents those areas that have adopted the metric system and use the metric system. The mixed is United Kingdom. They use both. These in red says they are imperial, but they use both. It's just the small two units. Right now, only the United States is showing as adopting metric but using imperial. But we know that is not the case. Because those of us that live in the Bahamas notice that it's showing us as blue. Only persons in the medical professional areas have a tendency of using metric units. Everyone else uses imperial. If you speak to an average Bahamian, we don't even know what metric temperatures are. So if someone says the temperature is 20 degrees Celsius, we don't know if that's hot or if that's cold. No idea. So if you were to ask a Bahamian to guess the weight of a banana that weighs 150 grams, he would look at you cross-eyed. So the conversion rate says 1 gram is equal to 0.035 ounces. Once again, um, you're looking at no, we don't know which one is bigger. Actually, we do know which one is bigger by looking at the number. So 1 gram is bigger than ounces because 1 gram and you ain't even reached an ounce yet. When you look at the larger number, you know it's the smaller unit. So we're trying to find the larger unit. No, that's not what we're doing. Anyways, I, let's just look at the math of it. So anyways, we have a gram, we have ounces. If we multiply, we're trying to go from 1 gram to 150. We are doing it backwards. That's why it was a little bit confusing. And the other one we were going, we were using the conversion second, but here we are given the conversion rate first. So that's why we're doing it more or less in reverse. I want to go from 1 gram to 150 grams. That's what I'm trying to do. And that's why I multiply by 150 grams. I'm not trying to get to ounces yet. I want to get to the grams first, and then that will lead me to ounces. So if I multiply the 1 by 150, then I should multiply the ounces numerical value by 150. So the banana will weigh 5¼ ounces. So suppose you wanted a pound of grapes. Now, 1 gram, we still have the same conversion. But this time we're dividing. The reason why we're dividing is we need to know what 1 ounce is. That's what's going on here because we need a pound of grapes and we know it's 16 pounds. So we need to know we know it's 16 ounces. So we need to know what the ounce is. So if I take this and I divide it by itself, I'm going to get 1. So if I'm dividing this number by the same number, I'm going to get 1. So if I divide this by 0.035, I should divide 1 by 0.035. That means that 1 ounce is actually 28 grams approximately. So now that I know what 1 ounce is, I just multiply by 16. And when I multiply by 16, I'm going to get 16 ounces, which is a pound. And when I multiply 28.57 by 16, I'm going to get 457 grams, which is pretty much almost half a kilo. So let's look at this car. This car is moving. Well, it doesn't say how fast it's moving, but it's traveling. It travels 3 kilometers. Now, this is one of the things we tend to want to know because Bahamians don't know what kilometers is. How many miles did it travel? need a conversion rate. The conversion rate is given as 1 kilometer is 0.62 miles. So I'm trying to get from 1 kilometer to 3 kilometers, so I multiply by 3. I multiply this by 3, I multiply this by 3, it travels 1.86 miles. In my previous video, I was confused because I had a number that did not make sense. What is happening is car travels 17 miles, so I need to know what 1 mile is. I took the 0.62 and I divided by 0.62 to give me 1 mile. If I'm dividing by 0.62 here, I'm dividing by 0.62 here. So that means 1 mile is equal to 1.61 kilometers. So therefore, when I got to the next slide, I needed to multiply by 17. That's exactly what I did. Fortunately, I had the wrong unit here. It was saying miles, and my brain automatically kicked in and said, no, that's not. So notice miles, miles, kilometers, kilometers, kilometers. So it travels 27.37 kilometers based on multiplying the conversion that figured out, which mile is 61 kilometers. Don't make that mistake in the exam.